Assalamu alaikum. I would like to thank ICAP, President Ashfaq Tola, council members, Rashid Kotwal, and all the participants who have joined today to hear the need and importance of digital media analytics and what role finance people, professionals can play. Thank you. It is very interesting that today a chartered accountant, which was a profession known to just compute the numbers of the company, are playing a very active role in the management and development of our companies. I remember a long time ago, a friend of mine who said that I'm going to be a chartered accountant. To me, the word accountant was not very interesting. But I am proud to say that Hum has been fortunate to hire one of the best chartered accountants in Pakistan. And we had, at least in a small company at one time, 5 chartered accountants, and then even today we have 4 of them working in key management position other than just CFO or finance positions. And they have played a critical role. And today when I look at them and we take work from them, they're good with numbers. Hence today they can easily understand not just what the brand health of the company is in terms of numbers and finances, but also how to compute those numbers when it comes to consumer behavior. And just yesterday, one of our senior person who used to be a CFO, he said, I'm taking over IT. I said, why do you want to take over IT? He said, we are not doing a good job, So it's great to see how ICAP and chartered accountants have transformed over the years. And so I just want to add some of the things, what they can and how they can use data analytics in this digital world, and how they can reform their thinking process, especially the CFOs who are in the leading position of the development of the company. On today's presentation, I will talk about nature of media after the digital revolution, changes in analytics after digital revolution, and changing role of financial professionals. In 2006, I have to change it also, sorry. In 2006, Anderson also wrote a book titled The Long Tail: Why the Future of Business is Selling Less of More. If you look today at YouTube, iTunes, Netflix, what are they doing? They are putting so much content up there that it fulfills the need of someone. So instead of having 1 or 2 super content, which everybody would like to, or many people would like to see, they've increased the product line to such a level that you see it is, you don't get bored. And even if you get sometimes, videos, you would just short videos, long formats, but the long tail has been able to deliver them greater revenues. So today, when we look at how data is evolving, how video is dominating the time spent, this is an interesting data. Today, watching TV is about 40%. Reading and watching news is about 34%. And social media is about 33%. And what is social media? When you look at it, these are people coming together, putting up their own data and talking to each other, where in many times they do not even physically have ever met or are ever going to meet, yet they are connected in this digital world. And doing nothing and relaxing has come to 19%, listening to music, Apple Music and many others, Spotify, And all those products have increased their share to 15%. Streaming TV shows or movies have gone to 14%. Digital games have 10%. Listening to streaming music is 8%, and watching YouTube or Facebook videos is about 7%. What are we trying to say here? We are trying to say consumption of digital medium is increasing day by day. Where are we really going wrong when we look at such data, especially with the companies that we are in today? Companies need to stop focusing just on new technologies. They need to start paying attention to new and emergent customer behavior. This digital world has given all the data, and we will talk about it, how we can compute this data to yourself without engaging research companies. In old times, you used to engage retail audits and many other things. Today, you put up a product, even if you want to test an advertising, you just put it on social media. A lot of people are going to say, liked it, hated it. And what the companies have done is created emojis and that's the customer satisfaction. You can find out a sad face, a happy face, love it, like it, all those things. Those signs compute and become numbers of how many people are really looking at it. So what managers today need to see is not about how and what technology and data we'll use, but how consumers are consuming your own data in this digital medium. All you need to do is get that data from your own screen, which is coming to you, and how you are engaging with these consumers is basically the main important point. There's infatuation with technology, the lack of customer insight. People are launching plans without taking time to understand the networked behavior of their customers. What is driving that behavior? A lot of times we see somebody else's video going up there and we say, wow, let's try and do that. Let's get all those traction. What they are not trying to understand is this the real mix or fit for your product? And what are you trying to get out of that data? Hence, the scope, and you have to have a very clear objective of anything that you are trying to achieve out of that data. So understanding your objective, making an objective, and improving not limiting your scope and vision, being very clear that what I'm going to and how I'm going to use this data that I'm going to get from the digital media. When we look at customer behavior, we talk about how the behavior these consumers are accessing, engaging, then you customize, connect, and collaborate. These 5 points are critical whenever we are looking at the digital data. All your business strategy needs to be developed based on these 5 points. The access strategy is be faster, be easier, be everywhere, be always on. Your customers are online 24/7. You may be sleeping, but that data is being consumed either some part of the world. Some people will be awake all night, will be sleeping in the morning, and some will be waking up early in the morning and getting the data. What is interesting is your whatever you put up on that digital, you must have a strategy that you are able to access that data 24/7. Second thing is you are there, your website is there, your product is there. Are you engaged? And do you have an engagement strategy with your customer? So how do you really engage them? Either there's a helpline. Many websites have helplines. I have an American Express card from an old days when I was in US, I still is active. I wanted to change my phone number because my US number had died. And while I was processing that, a chat popped up. Do you need any help? And this is what we are talking about. I just said, oh, I just need to change my phone number. I was trying to look at that. But they were so active. I was just on the side looking at my bank credit card statements. And there was some chat that, can I help you? And when you say yes, automatically there's some kind of connectivity with a real live person. He said, I'm Robert. How can I help you, Mr. Duraid? Whatever. Because I'd already logged in the site. He already knows that this is Duraid and all of that. And we got engaged. So and then you customize. As you are getting the data, as you are getting that engagement, you customize your strategy and adapt to your customer needs. You should be always connected to them and invite customers to help build your enterprise. Now, how do you invite somebody? Facebook is a great example, YouTube. It's a social network. And what do they really do? They don't put up data. They don't put up those videos. Somebody is putting up their video, building up the site, developing that product. All they are doing is connecting them and monetizing it. Hum Network has one of the largest media presence in the media industry in Pakistan, is also one of the largest in Pakistan, I would say, with about 20 million followers on just Facebook, or 21 million on YouTube, and many other platforms have great access in Instagram and all those things. As soon as the drama is put on a YouTube, for example, the first thing I've noticed, the producers and our team start looking at not how many people have just watched. They start looking at the comments. It's such an interesting feedback. You've put up a drama, people start commenting. Bad drama, good acting, wow. Just a promo comes in, Fawad Khan back, Atif Aslam, what a singer, what a this, coming from India, coming from, and they start getting immediate feedback about what people are saying and how they have to develop a strategy for the new content, what is being consumed, what is not being consumed. And yes, in that feedback, since the person doesn't have to face anybody, they put up a real comment of either it's bad, good, like, and not like. So you immediately get attraction and understanding. And that's what I feel, that on your social media, give them the platform to build themselves. They will continue to keep on helping you give us their feedback. What is interesting is this data doesn't cost you much, or it doesn't cost you anything. However, it gets you what you would be paying to get that data of a consumer feedback, and that also would be not as diverse as this social media and digital world is. These are some of the metrics that I was talking about. You must have your page views, your website has to be there. Website is almost mandatory, but your social media presence on big platform, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, etc. These are important. And what do you see? How many people are viewing your product or your companies? How many people are interested in then how many people are joining your community? How do you engage with them? How much time are they spending on your community? What is the level of interaction? When there are less comments in a drama, we easily understand that people are not that much interested in talking about it. However, There are many times people are within few minutes or within few hours, you'll get thousands of comments. Atif Aslam came first time in Sangema, just the drama going on. And just when we put up the trailer, not only our comments were in thousands of numbers, but there were bloggers who picked up that short trailer in India, especially in in Indian Punjab area, where they were talking about Atif Aslam and they were predicting the story and they were talking about it and what's going to be when the second teaser came in. They talked about, oh wow, that means there is another thing. There was a sixth story coming up, so it got popular in that way. And that feedback really kicks in, and this is how you start engaging with them. Many a times you see there's a plot which is not picking up on that side. You would take and redraft your own content. If the sick track has come out good, you would promote more. A recent example I would like to share is our Ramzan comedy play, which was Hum Tum, right? Last year was Chupke Chupke, and this time it was Hum Tum. And while the play was on air, the shooting was going on. And it is pretty common in many US companies where your sitcoms have seasons. And when they are shooting that next season, they have the feedback and they're developing the scripts on the go. We found out in Hum Tum, there was a track which people were more interested in. So the director immediately shot a couple of extra scenes. The best example that happened was Parizad. Parizad last two episodes were completely reshot and redone. The ending was not the same as it was written. And the play had become very successful. Numbers were coming good. People were really interested. The director is from Kashmir. So he asked the producer, I want to go to the Neelam Valley. It's going to cost an X million rupees extra to go there and take the entire shoot. And I want to do the last scenes that have been rewritten. The writer was very excited, Nadeem, and he said that I'm going to write some more scenes to extend some more episodes. This is the same writer who wrote Khuda and Mohabbat, Jio's play. And that play was written for 26 episodes by the writer. However, since it became popular, the network extended multiple scenes and took it to 40 episodes. Now, so the writer got very upset, and the serial got a little slow also because you were repeating some of the recaps and extending the story for no reason. However, in this case, they said we will write an extra episode, and everybody wanted us to make a longer serial, but the production said we didn't have the material and we don't want to slow the pace. And if you remember, the last 3 or 4 episodes, we converted the play into a kind of a mission where he talks about Urdu as being taught, and he transforms into a bigger cause and a purpose in life. The character, when your character becomes so big, and if you stay with the same story and don't stay with the people's pulse and the customers, what they're wanting, you would lose out a lot. And hence, when you get engaged with the customer, where do business people come in? What can they do in such cases? And it happened. The producer said, I need an extra few millions to do this extra episodes, and there is going to be cost. We are going to Neelam Valley in Kashmir. And even though you have a set contract, you understand what your customers want. You don't say no to it. You just say, go ahead, and it really paid off. We usually don't do sequels in Hum TV. We never made Humsafar 2. We always felt a story which is done, but Parisa 2 is coming, so watch out. And it was because of customer demand. This is a scorecard that I want to share, which a lot of financial experts can use, while they are making. It's a simple scorecard based on how you reach your audience, encourage and action, including to lead generation, convert to sale, engage customers to retain growth. And the measures are tracking metrics, say performance drivers, customer KPIs, business value KPIs. I've put all of these. The presentation we will be with all the participants. Khurshid, you can share this. And this is a very easy thing of when you are looking at the tracking matrix, for example, how many unique visitors have you gotten? How many new visitors have you gotten to your thing? What are the visits and what is the conversation volume? So how many comments are you getting? How many people are talking about it? You can put all those in numbers and look at it compared to what other of your either content or your, for example, I would say, especially Unilever makes an ad copy for Fair and Lovely ad, or some other product. So they can easily gauge from the interest of the people what sort of comments are they getting. The share of audience, and when you look at the performance drivers in reach audience, share of search, brand, or direct visits, how have they come? Have they come through another website? And all this data is available if you have a good digital guy who would just pick up the data, and all you need to do is analyze this data. You also need to find out if you need to get the clicks, you can push your media by sponsoring and putting on websites. And you can say, what is your cost per click? What are cost per sales, brand awareness, conversion polarity. And again, at the end of the day, business value KPI for reach is audience share, owned media, or share of voice earned media. Coke Studio is a great example when they were building it up. And they realized making content, then just an ad would add a great brand value. What a great success as Coke Studio been. I was part of the first initial conversation with the brand manager, who's a very dear friend and classmate from LUMS. We talked about it, how it will be built. But what a great success to the Pakistani music industry they've done. And their success was not just the TV views that they got, it was the aftermath, and basically how engaged it has become on social media, how the youth are using that, and just transformation of Coke brand. I remember when before the Coke Studio, Coke had less than 15% of share, whereas PepsiCo had about 70% of the market share. And today, Coke is definitely by far larger than Pepsi. Just imagine 10 years ago or about such time, Coke was 15% and 70%. And another ex-Coke guy who came back again to Coke, we had a bet, that Coke can never overtake Pepsi in Pakistan. And I was involved in the process, and I just said that it will. And the great thing about Coke was they used the digital media. Their initial transaction, they did not even keep a single penny from digital media. They gave it to the producers and they said, you can just exploit it. Their purpose was not to make money out of that thing. Their purpose was the brand Coke. And I think they achieved it quite successfully. This This is a this is a great scorecard. I would urge that you can dig it out from there and use it uh, in your own companies to make out a great KPI oriented scorecard. So as we know, there's a great consumption of videos. It's TikTok, it's Facebook, it's FaceTime, all of that, Instagram. There is a great consumption of short videos, long videos, all sorts of medium format videos. Every company must act like a media company. You produce, you sponsor, and you curate. Today, no matter if you are in a B2B world or B2C world, what you need to do is produce content, put it on your digital media. You will get the results, and you find out and take that data and find out that once you have those number of visitors, number of page views, time on sites, conversion, sentiments, comments, feedbacks, and organic reach, inorganic reach, how do you get it? It is very important that you take the digital media very seriously. And the more seriously you will take, it is much cheaper data that you will get of your own product, whatever you're doing. I would also say that people in the service industry, which says we don't have a product, they themselves have services where they can put up short videos, either be about, if there are people who are trainers, who are consultants, they must have short videos and they must keep on updating those videos. Their social media interactivity is must. My bhabhi is one of the leading architects in Palo Alto, California. And she is so active on every new design that they have done. And their web page is so active. And if they don't have something of their own, they will put something classic of somebody else, because they want their customers, who are either their new customers, their previous customers, or the customers who are going to be engaged with them. And whenever there will be an opportunity, they know that M Design Architects is there and is producing or are already knowing great things. So interestingly, many times I say, wow, what a house. It's not done by her, but she has picked up a great house and she's not said, I've done it, but she's put it on her website where people can see sometime about classics and all of those. And hence what I'm trying to say here is, you need not be Unilever's or Hum TV. You may be your own, and yet you want to engage with them on video and keep on connecting with your customers through the digital media. Now, this one is a long matrix. No, sorry, this one also. So, inbound marketing, content creation. This is what I was talking about. You have to create content. The more you create content and publish it in whatever field, again, I want to continue, it is not limited to a media company. It is not limited to an architectural company. You can be a financial consultant. You can be a product manufacturer. You have to keep up there and engage with your customers, and people who are going to be either your current customers, your old customers, or your future customers. A great thing about, I was working with McKinsey on a project, and they said, we have never, ever advertised on any Economist magazine or anything else. 99% of all customers that we have today are repeat customers. What is interesting is, and 1% are people like you who have just walked in for the first time, who have heard about us, that McKinsey is a consulting company. You call them up, they take a time, and then they work with you. The quality that they do is definitely great. They are one of the leading consulting company. What is interesting is they continue to engage with every customers of theirs. They will continue to send you their quarterly reports. They will continue to send you with the articles that are interesting. And one fine day you'll say, oh, come on, I have to do this new project. I have to go to them and talk to them. So there's this engagement with your customers through the digital media is very important. And it is all about creating content and engaging with them. The other thing is the paid media. You can, if you feel that you are not getting the traction, initially you can start spending some money to use those social media. And you will find out if you are not getting the traction, you need to change your strategies. At the end of the day, it's creating data, and you need to do that data analysis and listen what the social media is telling you. These are your customers, what they are liking. And if they are not liking something, you need to change your strategy and monetize that. This is a very complex diagram I got from one of the things. And I would just share some of the things in it. Search engine optimization. You need to find out where your data is, where your competition data is there, where your data is there, and you have to link them, optimize it by putting the keywords and key links and key connectors with your customers. Your website is critical. Your customer relationship management is critical. Your social media, pay-per-click advertising, and analytics. I've put all of this for you to sit together, look at each and every data point, and it will give you great insights of how you can, with your own product, use all of these platforms and optimize at the end of the day to increase your revenue numbers. Today, the world is changing and the workforce and workplace are getting more and more informal. If I would have come to ICAP maybe 5 years ago, I must have been wearing a tie. Today, I don't wear a tie, and many of us, we don't. But more than that, what COVID has changed and today's world has changed is that you can work from home with the same capacity and sometimes at your own time more efficiently and effectively. I was working in US about 10 years ago, I remember, and there was a house that was being designed by my sister-in-law. She took me to this person's home, which was under construction. And she said, this is a room that HP is paying because this is his office space. And they are paying to make it all the facilities that are in the office. And this is going to cost the office less than anything that we than the room that they are making. And it was a high-tech room with high-speed internet and computers and everything else. So just want to say today, workplace and work force is changing. There's informal settings, freelancers are increasing, and most importantly, Your data being collected is definitely changing. Data is now being collected through the digital media. You don't need more research agencies for getting you the retail data and etc. I've been told there's a time check, so I'll just try to rush a little bit and move to the last two slides, I think. Khurshid also talked about ERP getting obsolete. I would say ERP is still there and will continue to remain there. However, it does not give you the consumer insight and consumer data. It's more of your internal processes. Hence, management with data will take over with ERP playing the central role. Now the data analytics are more critical, and hence you need to focus more on multiple data points to forecast challenges and opportunities coming from different sites, but continue to engage through the social media, which costs nothing, just an internet that you need and the website with me. My last slide is talking about what the CFOs need to do today. CFOs need to align today's finance talent to promise of the tomorrow's technologies, while still maintaining workforce that can fulfill the company's basic financial and regulatory requirements. Those things that they are doing traditionally, the regulatory requirements, the financial requirements of the company, those are there, but those are become the basics as of the company. Hence, they need to use the data analytics from cloud computing and robotics to analytics, cognitive technologies and blockchain. A new class of digital disruptors is transforming how the work to finance gets done. And this data is actually going to help them predict the future of how numbers are going to come to their companies. CFOs are in the prime position to challenge the way the enterprise looks at the consumer's data. In the area of forecasting, they can champion an innovative data-driven approach that will help people predict the financial future of their business. By modeling the potential impact of important decisions, they can help generate smarter insights and stronger business outcomes. And this is what I feel in my company when I look at my finance or chartered accountants and CFOs. They have started looking more into how we can get this data and how we are going to develop the future business plans. One thing I want to share about our company, an interesting fact. Sometime back, the budgeting was done by usually the finance department with the CEO, and they would make a number. Last year, interestingly, we thought that we will take numbers from every department. So sales will give their number, which is usually how they should. Programming will give their own budget and all those things. So CFO sent this in May to me last year and gave me a budget. And I said, who gave you this budget? He said, I made it myself. I said, okay. So I said, shouldn't the sales team be making their own revenue sales numbers? He said, usually they take a lot of time, so I made it on my own. So, okay, but we started that process. We gave them time and the numbers came. And I had a session because the next year numbers were being done. Sales teams had said to me, last year it was a great exercise. See how accurate we were, just 5% up and down, and we'll be up there. The ex-CFO was also part of the management team, said the CFO numbers are also not too far away. So an informed CFO with a little bit insights on data and numbers can definitely make a great business plan. Thank you very much.